wealth?
Well, I had to go back then because see, my thought process is something you spoke of earlier. We got some earlier footage of you just a minute ago where you had you know, some a part of a documentary, and you mentioned the thought process, because I'm a big on the power of the mind. Because,
yes.
Okay, so
yes.
how do we make this be realistic to me or the average person? Because what you're saying, I get. Tyler Perry, he did his thing. He got his. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And Mr. Fubu Damon, you know, he did his thing. Damon Dasher did his as well. You know. So how do I, you know, change my situation to make it where I can be? Because we talking wealth.
Yes.
We talking billions. We talking, and so to the average person, you know, we don't even live in a world of being financially astute.
65% of African Americans have no net worth.
They have no net worth. Even the so-called middle class.
Even so-called middle class.
And America actually manufactured the black middle class. It's really an idea. It's not a reality.
It's not.
Because class speaks to ownership of wealth.
And it's actually
the average middle class. Exactly.
And it's an antithesis to wealth. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's not a stepping stone. You can't go through that mentality like, so this is where I'm gonna start and go with. You almost have to almost unplug and walk away from that mentality to go to find.
In America was very slick because they re-engineered the definition of class.
Right.
Okay? Class no longer includes your net worth of wealth, material assets. Class is purely education and occupation. That means a school teacher raising 4 children on her own at a $30,000 a year job, hypothetically speaking, because she has a master's degree in education and because she's a school teacher, she's considered middle class.
Middle class,
But when you look at the amount of money she takes in times the amount of children she's raising, she's below the poverty line. But she's considered middle class because they took, you understand, net worth and income out of the definition of class, and it's only education and occupation.
So what's the solution?
So how do we get there?
Well, here's the thing. We got to recognize that wealth is intergenerationally created. Most people who get rich don't get rich in a lifetime. Oprah, that's once in a while. Bill Gates, that's once in a while. Most people are intergenerational wealth. That means what? That if black people want to catch up, we have to start saving wealth and passing it to the next generation. Our biggest problem ain't that we're splurging. Is that every time we splurge, we're stealing from our descendants. You're giving them no inheritance to get started with. But the white child, they're starting out $100,000 plus, $1 million plus. And I think we have to become more strategic in the way that we do our health plans as well as our life insurance plans. Because what I'm learning with a lot of these white folk, a lot of them are getting their first, what you want to call a shock of wealth through the life insurance policy of their parents.
We talk about that too.
Yeah,
so life insurance policy.
So there's so many different strategies towards wealth that we're not even thinking about because black people, our selfishness, it's also based on our, what you want to call it, emergency consciousness, survival instinct. We're only worrying about our life. We do not think about those who come after us. Now, you got to realize now, when we got out of slavery, white folks been already building wealth for a couple centuries. We started behind the 8 ball. Okay? So you got to play catch up. How do you catch up with somebody who's 100 yards in front of you? You have to run faster than they are. That means we have to sacrifice our spending habits more than everyone else in order to catch up. How does a people who are at the bottom waste money more than people who are at the top? So not only are you not catching up, you're not even thinking about it trying to catch up.
This is good, and we got